What's up, everybody? Well, today I'm here to bring to you another video series of the playlist that I like to call FrankenHoover, where I take and reconstruct various different Hoover Elites to make one working vacuum out of it. And today I have essentially a square hood Hoover Elite 350, or at least if they were to make one. This was done more so as an inspiration to an old video I watched in my cleaning performance video that I made of an Elite 600 with the slide top outer bag and a single row brush roll. Well, I mostly did that for a cleaning performance vid, but since I never made this into a FrankenHoover video, I decided I'd do that right now. I already did one of my other one, which was the Elite 350 with the side zip bag. So I figured I'd throw this together and put this video out for you guys. So let's go ahead and give a walkthrough of the machine. So this basically is a lower end version of an Elite. So it does have a slide top bag. And as you can see on the front, it says top fill bag. And to get access to these top fill slide top bags, you just simply pull this spring down and it'll lean forward. Then you can slide it off on either side to get access to your inner bag, which this one is currently running a HEPA type A generic bag, which filters out much better than even the genuine type A bags do. So that's one nice upgrade if you can make do. It really increases filtration. Even running the Y bags will work in these, although I do extra research and do the A bags because they're much larger than the Ys. So you can fill up much more. So as we move along down here, this is the early design version of the square hood Elites. So it has the legacy style wide carpet height adjustment knob. As you can see, you have 4 settings. It goes from low to medium to high. Well, actually, this is what they consider high. This is what they call shag. That also kind of gives you an idea of the period that these were made in. Back to high, which is usually where I keep it for the pile of this carpet. It's kind of the middle setting for this, so it works pretty good. Does have brushed edge cleaning on each side. And the original model this hood came off was a Hoover Elite 600. It was one of the more high-end models, and all of them came with side zip bags. But you never see one with a slide top bag because they never made one. So I thought I would do this, but I kind of feel like it's more Elite 350-ish, considered that it's a slide top model. Maybe this could be an Elite 450 if they were made it back then. So let's go ahead and show you the underside. I have upgraded this to a dual row brush roll because these clean a little bit better than the single rows would. And I figured since we're going the high-end theme with the square hood, why not take it a step further by upgrading to the dual row brush roll. And this is the period correct red bristle one, so the bristles are medium stiff, so not overly stiff like the white bristles are, but before they even made the white bristle ones, they actually had these red bristle versions, which are very nice. One thing I really do love about these older Elites is the rug plate design doesn't have these extra ingest bars. It just has this single one right here. So this thing leaves much better carpet lines as a result. So now let's go ahead and show you the model number that I based this off of is U4459-940 120 volts, 60 hertz. This has a 5 amp motor with updated internals to give it higher performance, which we will go over that later. Bag type is A. It has belt part number 38528-027, and the serial number for this is 0390, which means this was made in March of 1990 for the Hoover Company of North Canton, Ohio, for household use only, made in the USA. That is one thing I love about these, is that they are all US made. And back here is your power cord that is very nice and long. Unfortunately, the cord hook is a bit messed up. As you can see, it's got kind of a little cracked plastic that is in danger of breaking off altogether. So one of these days I am going to have to look for a replacement. Luckily, the cord hooks for these are actually the same as on the Hoover wind tunnels and the Hoover steam vacs. So one of these days I will find a cord hook for it, but it may not be gray to match the color of the cleaner. So right down here is your side-mounted power switch, which is a plastic rod that runs down into where our main rocker switch is in the valley of the motor. So I've always liked this power switch design. It kind of prevents the owner from getting electrocuted should the power switch design decide to go bad. I know that's probably not what Hoover was thinking of when they put this together. They mostly did this for serviceability reasons. But it is kind of a clever switch design. So anyway, with that said, let's go ahead and show you this thing up and running. So let's go ahead and release the power cord, which is very long, I should point that out. A very good length to it. And now let's go ahead and plug this guy in. And we will go ahead and turn this thing on and give it a demo of it running. Now, typical Elite fashion, this thing is pretty loud when it's running, but that's usually the nature of these. But the one thing I love about these lower amperage models, and the 5 amp ones specifically, is that they do not run nearly as loud as the 7 amp, or heck, even the 6 amp ones of the time do, because the RPMs run so low. And also the fan, you may notice, but, well, obviously you will notice the fan chamber is a little bit different of a color because it's replaced because the old one was broken. But the fan impeller itself was also upgraded to a later style 20 blade fan impeller that was used when Hoover introduced the 12 amp Elite motor on this platform, that later carried over into the commercial series until its final discontinuation. If you can find these fans, new old stock, I would definitely install it. As long as your other fan is not damaged. Because I'm trying to preserve about as much of these Elites out there, and I don't want to see any of them tossed in the trash can because of obsolescence thanks to Hoover, particularly TTI. But anyway, because of that, this thing produces so much more airflow and makes less noise, coupled to the fact that this is a 5 amp motor with a lower amperage motor. This thing runs very nice and quiet, but is still pretty loud, but that's mostly because of airflow noise. So headphone users or those with sensitive hearing, I would advise turning down your volume for this portion of the video. So here we go. very smooth and quiet. It's probably one of the most quiet Elites I've ever used or even rebuilt into. So before we end the video, here is the attachment converter that the original Elites would come with. This is how a lot of Hoover's vacuums were able to use onboard tools back in the day. It's a special converter that actually attaches on the bottom of the base plate. It is not going to be easy putting this on camera, but it essentially attaches, if only I could get it on straight, on the bottom like that. Now, do not expect miracle suction out of this. The suction is not very good because direct air vacuums are known to produce more airflow than suction. But I think most of that extra has to do with the updated fan, but yeah, there's definitely quite a bit of suction leakage that's going on from this. So, but one thing I do like about the older tool conversion kits is that they have the twist lock connection at the end, so you can actually attach canister attachments to. So here's the original extension wand with its own twist connect, the original upholstery tool from the 80s, but then I also have some that I pulled from my canisters that have the same locking tab on the top that you can attach in and twist to lock, and they work just as they should. So if you guys buy an attachment converter that has no attachments and all you can find is the ones from a canister, which, by the way, give it the same Hoover feel, if I'm in all honest opinion, with the exception of the upholstery tool that has these little lint brushes on the back that was never included on the upright version of the attachment. These are all very nice tools to use if you can put up with the lackluster suction and sealing that this thing produces. Well, everybody, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video of the custom square hood Hoover Elite 350. Be sure and stay tuned, and don't forget to like, rate, comment, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.